What's going on, everyone? Mike Kadlick and Tayler Kyles here for CLNS Media outside of Gillette Stadium as the Patriots just wrapped up day 3 of their 2024 training camp. A reminder, we're powered by Game Time. Head over to Game Time. Use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Before practice today, we got some news right before Gerard Mayo actually came out to speak
Literally
with us.
seconds before.
Yeah, normally in the old regime, Belichick would come to his press conference, he would leave, and then news would break, so we couldn't ask him about it. Today was the exact opposite. We find out that safety Jabrill Peppers is working on, him and his team working on agreeing to a 3-year, $24 million contract extension with the Patriots. That can go up to $30 million with incentives and things of that nature. So, Peppers, another guy the Patriots locked down on this defense, as well as Kyle Duggar, who earlier in this offseason signed a 4-year deal worth $58 million. So, they locked down their 2 safeties. Still some question marks on the free safety position, but I think they kind of have that rotation under control. So, what do you make of Peppers re-signing and the rest of the room as training camp continues on?
Yeah, well, the most important thing is you keep one of the best safety tandems in the NFL together long-term. Jabrill Peppers and Matt Judon, after Ramondre Stevenson's extension, were my top 2 guys who I thought deserved new deals. Because Jabrill Peppers had a career year last season.
Yeah.
He's only half a year older than Kyle Duggar, so they're pretty close. And I think it's not really debatable that Peppers had the better year. He was one of the top playmakers on this defense, helping to force turnovers along with Jelani Tavai. And then we mentioned the free safety thing. I've got a bit of a gripe. Whenever people mention that the Patriots need a true free safety, Jabrill Peppers played like one of the better free safeties in the NFL. Most of his big plays actually came while playing free safety because of his range and his ball skills. When you think about the breakup he had in Week 1 against the Eagles, the forced fumble he had against Jalen Hurts, the play where he cracks Devontae Adams in Las Vegas and then Jelani Tavai intercepts it, those came while he was at free safety. Now, I understand in those nickel packages where they're trying to stop the run, that's where you want Duggar as a slot corner, as a linebacker, where he's close to the action, because that's where they get a lot of their run stops. But in obvious passing situations, Jabrill isn't the biggest guy. You don't really want him covering tight ends. Sometimes we see that out here. Right. You know, they'll be going through drills, and he's just not the biggest guy. There's nothing wrong with that. So I like him at free safety, where that range, that playmaking ability, and that intelligence all come together, especially with Duggar, I think, being a guy who's better is that overhang safety over the middle, and then Mapu being more of a tight end eraser. Mapu also, who was not here. He was here with his helmet and his uniform, but he wasn't participating.
Still very limited. He wasn't here to start practice. He was kind of off the attendance list, and then him and Barmore walked out later on in helmets, but I don't believe either of them actually participated.
Right. But, just getting back to Peppers, the versatility he brings, the physicality, someone that we've been talking about, I think is actually going to be a captain this season. He's a vocal leader in the fact that he is one of the guys who's the most active on the field, and just the energy, once again, that he brings. I'd be surprised if he didn't end up being one of the leaders in name, not just in practice, like he's been the past couple of years.
On that leadership thing, too, with Peppers, like last year, yes, he brought it to the locker room. He was a rah-rah guy, a positive guy, things like that. The other thing I'll add, though, remember in that Giants game where he went up to Saquon and said, like, yeah, we can't get a win or something along those lines? And he kind of got dragged for it because NFL Films came in and clipped it, whatever. The most, like, leadership thing I've seen from Jabrill Peppers was him at his locker room after that moment, where he spoke, apologized, said, like, he was sorry and he messed up, took full accountability for it. Some guys would just ignore it and not do a thing like that, but he felt bad for his teammates. He apologized to everyone. So, like, I thought that was huge. That just shows the kind of player, the kind of person he is in the locker room. So you're right. I would be surprised if he's not a captain of this team this year for sure.
And what David Andrews was last season, where after every single loss, he had to go up to the podium and answer difficult questions, didn't shy away, tried to be as transparent, I think, as possible. You know, every once in a while, a loss will get under a guy's skin. But Peppers was one of those guys, like with the Saquon incident, answered every single question, was very patient with reporters. And then after every game, he was the one who really answered a lot of the tough questions and gave us as much insight as he could. So, yeah, Peppers, great leader on this defense. I think they're really lucky to have him, and it's cool that, again, that safety tandem's going to be around for a while.
Peppers joins a long list of returning people on new contracts. Jelani Tavai, Ramondre Stevenson, Kendrick Bourne, Hunter Henry, guys who still haven't signed, Devon Godchaux, Matthew Judon. We spoke to Godchaux after practice today about his contract situation and why he might not have been at practice yesterday. Gerard Mayo told us it was an ailment. He said something was tightened up or something on him, but Godchaux spoke after practice. What did you make of his words, and what do you think goes on with his contract situation moving forward?
I thought everything he said honestly made a lot of sense. I like the transparency that he gave as well. He mentioned guarantees. That's one thing we've been talking about, is if anything's going to happen, even if you don't want to sign him long term, you need to give him some kind of guarantee guaranteed money. You understand a guy not wanting to be out here at such a physical position and then and then be in a position where if he gets hurt, he doesn't get any money.
Right.
Godchaux also mentioned the fact that, yeah, he is a run stopper, but that stopping the run is still an important part of defense, especially he kept mentioning Vince Wilfork, how he played for a while. Godchaux thinks he wants to play as long, if not longer than Wilfork, and how in the Patriots 3-4 defense, those are his words, it all starts with the nose tackle, and he's absolutely right. And when asked, what kind of contract are you looking for, he brought up Grover Stewart and Dalvin Tomlinson, 2 run-stopping nose tackles who don't play every down. I believe Grover Stewart's making like a few extra $1 million on his deal. I mean, if you do value Devon Godchaux the way that Gerard Mayo has made it seem, I do think that would be a fair deal. But again, we have seen without Lawrence Guy, are they switching to more nose tackles who do have that pass rush value? Right. Godchaux acknowledged that. We'll see, and I think it's gonna show up in what kind of deal they give him if he gets one done at all. But again, I like the transparency and the self-awareness from Devon Godchaux, knowing that I don't give you much pass rush, but there aren't a lot of guys who are stopping the run better than I am.
I'm so curious about behind closed doors how things happen with this team with all these contract situations, only because it's turned into this player coach team, players first. Say whatever you want. Mayo told us before practice today that, they can come out here and speak their mind if they're upset about their contract. We don't expect them to come out here and lie and, be, I guess, hold it to
robots.
and hold it to the vest. But at the same time, how does it play inside the locker room when, again, they come out here, they voice their displeasure about their contract, and then they turn around and go inside and see that Peppers just got extended. Not that they're not going to be happy for a guy like that, but they also want to get their money as well.
And it's interesting because Judon and Godchaux gave very different answers. Both guys were happy for their teammates, and that's what you'd expect, especially on the defensive line. That's a very, very tight unit. But Judon acknowledged, there's some jealousy. Yeah, sometimes it kind of hurts when you see guys get new deals, even if you're happy for them. Whereas Godchaux said, no jealousy. I'm happy for them. That's cool. I just want to get paid what I'm worth and know that I have guaranteed money. So really interesting that we saw different responses from both those guys. But again, said that they were very excited for their teammates and didn't want to diminish that, those guys earned the deals that they got.
Of course. We'll see where it goes. A lot of contracts signed for the Patriots this offseason. The latest being Jabrill Peppers on a 3-year, $24 million extension worth upwards of $30 million in its maximum value. Devon Godchaux, Matthew Judon still waiting to put ink to paper. We'll see what happens there. Make sure you keep it here on Patriots Press Pass for all the updates as the Patriots continue on here in training camp, and make sure you follow along on CLNSmedia.com.
Make sure to subscribe to Patriots Press Pass for all your Patriots news and updates on YouTube, and for all our written work, make sure you check out CLNSmedia.com.